In this video, I'm going to show you a complete method to find, test, validate, and pre-sell any business idea. And it's not only a simple trick that I'm going to show you, it's really a complete framework that will bring you from hypothesis, meaning business idea, to your first client with a series of steps that will involve having a marketing campaign, a Facebook ads campaign that is specifically designed to learn about your customer and having your offer shown to them and quickly asking them if they want to be part of building this offer with you. If yes, asking them really precise questions to understand exactly their pain, how hard is their pain, what do they expect, did they try something before to solve this pain. Then we will have like a thank you page that I'm going to explain later, and that will bring us to the waiting list. We will create this waiting list, but that's not only that. We will also, with this system, we will refine the offer because everything we learn when we launch with our hypothesis will be refined along the way with the information that we will get. And then we can improve the offer, switch the offer, like swap or pivot the offer, improve our marketing campaign, and so on. So that's a feedback loop that will help you to go from the first idea that you have to something really specific that you know the customer wants. Go back to the waiting list. While you are doing that, refining your offer, the waiting list is growing. Once you have it, once you know that you get the right offer, you can scale the waiting list building. So you scale the ads and the waiting list is growing. And then we go to another sequence, which is extremely important, which is the product launch sequences that involve several emails in the course of 1 month. Basically, those emails are made to get people from the stage that they barely know the product to the stage that they really want to buy it and they are excited about it. And then you have a pre-order page, whatever we call it. It's just you pre-sell your product before even you build it. Once you have done that, you validated your offer and you have your first client. Then you can start building it. But I'm also going to show you what is a real campaign that has been made with this method. So you can really understand deeply and create it for yourself and launch your product right away. First question is, who is it for? Who can use this technique to launch a product? Well, basically any physical product brand for e-commerce that wants to launch a new product or a new brand can use this technique. For coaches or consultants that want to start a new program or even a paid community, a membership, a service provider, freelancer, to just know if there is demand for a certain service, startup founders or indie hackers that obviously wants to know if their business idea is worth their time before they spend months building it. Then creators that want to start a new course or a digital product, whatever it is, it allows them to just know if there are people waiting for that. Marketers, if they want to use that for their clients, or people that are looking for a business idea, not with a specific business idea in mind, but just by understanding this framework, the way they will look at business idea would be a bit different now. So if you are in one of these categories, just stick around because we have a lot to cover. And by the end of this video, I really want you to get the complete framework, which is actually a timeless method, you will understand, because it's not only about the tools that we are using, it's really about the psychology behind it. And it can work right now, but it can work in 5-10 years. It doesn't matter because the tools change, but not the way people act and buy and think. So that is really based on a timeless approach. And hopefully it will change the way you think of starting a business once you have understood this approach. And I can promise you something, it's quite bold, but I can promise you that you will always succeed. What I mean by that is that it's not because you use this technique that you can successfully launch the business idea that you had. But what I can promise is if you do it well, you will succeed because you will either understand that the business idea is worth going all in, so you can launch it, or you will understand that that was not the right one and you had to pivot until you find the right one, or you just find out that it is not worth your time. This is not a pain that is worth building a solution for, and so you can move on. But that is also a success because then you can create something else. Now we are looking at the complete funnel altogether, but just before I do, this is a video that will show you the complete framework, but I'm planning on creating more video to go in depth on each of these steps in the next weeks. So if you really are interested by this concept, consider subscribing right now. And if you want to help me, because it takes a lot of time, please like this video if you find any value in it, and also just leave a comment. It helps the algorithm to find this video and to show you to more people, which is actually the goal of all of this. Okay, now let's back to the discovery quiz funnel. So what it is exactly, let me put myself like that so I'm not annoying here. We have several parts. We have the moment that we are looking for ideas, and I've created this video, which was a blast, by the way. I would never have thought the reaction would be that big, but so many people saw it and the comments were awesome. This could help. I would release other videos to find markets and to find business ideas, but you can start with that. We are not going to cover this part of market research. We are going to cover everything from the moment that you already have a business idea that you want to test. So, okay, that was the ideation and market research. Now we are building the funnel. It's approximately three weeks. It's what I found out building this kind of funnel several times. What it is basically made with a marketing campaign, Facebook ads, Instagram campaign, but one that is very specific because it is made to understand specifically the need of your customer. What I mean by that is that we are first using a CBO campaign with dynamic creative ads, which allow us to test out different hooks, headlines on pictures that are kind of unrelated to each other, but this is what we call marketing angles. How do we approach someone for them to present them a solution? And we are going to look at a little bit deeper on that just afterward. But that is a specific marketing campaign to learn about what people are really reacting with. Then we have a landing page. On this landing page, we show the product or the solution without mentioning anything about the fact that it is not done yet. That's very important. You have not built your solution yet. You have not built the product, or you don't know if it works. But you present a landing page which looks approximately like that. By the way, shout out to my girlfriend, which allowed me to show her project in this video. That's not always easy to show a project from the inside for privacy reason, but she just gave me the go, so I can really show you every step. So that's pretty cool. This is actually a product for teachers and directors of kindergarten to help. It's a course basically. That we wanted to find out if there is a need for that. It's all in German, but that's not important. What's important is that you understand the concept behind it. I quickly showed you the ads, but that is the landing page. And what we have is we present the solution above the fold. Then we explain the problem that they have. we explain the desired, we explain the desired outcome, and then we show the solution, and finally we have a call to action. Call to actions are also everywhere, but that is the moment where you explain to the future customer what's your solution, but they don't know it doesn't exist yet. Then when they click on any CTA that you have on the page, there is a pop-up. And on this pop-up, you basically ask for help. You explain that you are in the process of creating or launching this product or offer, and you need their help to build it, to understand deeply what they want, so you can build the perfect solution for them. This is a step that is quite tricky, and sometimes you need to test out a lot of different messages so you can have the best, way to bring them into the quiz that is following. But once they do, you start asking them questions. And that is where the power lies, that at this point, you have someone that were nicely in the couch or whatever in the lunch break, watching Instagram, seeing your ad that point out a problem, click on the ad, see a landing page that describes the solution, click on the call to action to know more about the solution, read a message that say, hey, this solution is not existing yet. Could you help me to build it? And then they accept that, and they start answering questions about it. So the commitment that there is here and the quality of the people answering this survey is just incredible for you as a business, as a founder, to build the perfect solution. And what do you want to know here? You want to know first who they are. Are they exactly the people that you thought they would be when you created the campaign? What really bothered them? Maybe you didn't get the problem the first time. Do they have a solution in mind already? Did they already tried it here? Did they already try something? And how painful is this problem? Those are not the only question that you can ask, but they are important question. Once they finish that, at the end of the quiz, obviously what you want is to get an email address, because you want to launch your product soon. If you find out that there is a real pain, you want to launch your product. So you ask them, do you want to be notified when we launch? If they say yes, it's a logical way that the next step is that they give you the email address. If they say no, you nicely explain them that that's really nice of them to have taken the time, but you have no way to reach out to them when you launch the product. So maybe they change their mind, maybe not. But at this point, this is the email opt-in. Most of the time, people would end up, people that have finished the question would end up giving you their email address. So what happened next? Let's have a look at the real example. So we went from the ads, we had the landing page. Every call to action here leads to a pop-up, which asks them, our product is launching soon, answer a few questions. Then we have the quiz. What's your category? How happy are you with this problem? I'm going to show why is that extremely important and makes so much sense to ask this kind of question. Then there is open questions, and yeah, I didn't mention that. Sorry, I'm getting back. It's really hard to keep track of all of that, and I spend countless hours to build all of that and to try to extract it from my mind. So sorry if it's sometimes a little bit messy, and I'm going back and forth. Here there is an open question. You can find it here. What's an open question? It's a question that is made for them to write in their own words. You certainly don't want to have an open question at the beginning of the quiz, because it is too complicated for them yet to take the time to do that. But once people start a quiz, once they have replied to a few simple questions, 2-3 questions, they already have made a commitment. They are already in the experience of completing this quiz. And stopping because there is a question that is a little bit harder to answer, doesn't make sense anymore. So this is where you want to have a good open question that will tell you so much about their pain. In this case, for example, we had 2 open questions, actually. Usually I would only use one, but what's your biggest challenge right now? So remember, it's not in general. We already have talked about the pain. So that is, it's a specific in this area. What's your biggest challenge right now? So that's the open question. Then other question, how would you love to improve in that, that field, that area? What have you tried yet? Did it help? Great. How did it help? Or sorry, why do you think it didn't help? So now you have the second open question. Then this is the moment where you are explaining, thanks, we are launching the product soon. Would you like to be notified? That's the nice message. If they don't, if they say no, but mostly they will say yes, then you have the email opt-in. And then here's the thank you page I was talking about. Why is the thank you page extremely, extremely important? The first thing you want on the thank you page is that they get an email. You want to make sure that they will open the email. So the first thing you talk about on the thank you page is basically you will receive an email. That's the title of the email. Meanwhile, you can check us on Instagram or YouTube or whatever. Wherever you want to build the audience, you can include a CTA and lead people from the thank you page to this audience. I found out after I've done that several times that about 20% of people landing on this thank you page would end up as subscriber on Instagram, for example. I mostly use it with Instagram, but you can also use it on YouTube. You can do whatever you want here. But while they're on the thank you page, they are also receiving an email. In this email, it is basically a welcome email, a nice and warm welcome email that re-explain the solution and talk a little bit more about the story, why you did it, and everything about the product without revealing exactly when you are going to launch and everything, but also let them know again that if they want to stay in touch, they can come and say hello on Instagram or simply subscribe to YouTube channel or again, whatever other platform that you want them to subscribe to. Because at the end of the day, the more you build brand assets, the more you have people around in your ecosystem, the better it will be for the next steps. Okay, so now we have the basis of the beginning of our system. We have a marketing campaign, an offer that is described, asking nicely people to join and answer questions for you to understand what they want. We have the quiz that leads to an email opt-in, that leads to a thank you page, that leads to an action that you want so you can grow your following or whatever. Is that it? No. But before I go into the most interesting part here, I need to go through a certain core concept. Here, I've talked about that in the video I told you about in market research, but a niche is a group of people who all have the same specific problem or need. Okay, once we know that we need people and we need a problem that fit together. But that is for a niche. For a successful business idea, we also need a solution that goes with that. And even if we have the best solution, we still need to get the right message to tell them. And that is the timeless equation that gives you a successful business idea that you can start building. You don't want to start building before you have that, and that's the whole concept behind this method. Quick warning here, once someone told me, ideas king, execution is King Kong. No amount of marketing can make a wrong product a good business. Meaning, everything that I'm showing you here, it's for you to get a successful business idea. But if you make the product wrong, it will never work. So let's just focus on the business idea, because executing on this business idea is at the end of this framework and is a complete different thing. What we want to find out here is, do we want to build, to spend time, energy, and money on this specific idea? Let's go back here. As you can see, you can find our people, problem, solution, and message back here. Why? Because the whole concept here is to start with the hypothesis that we explain a certain problem that we thought people have, and show them the solution. But once they have answered a few questions, we start understanding better what do they really want. And this is where we start refining our offer and refining our marketing message. How do we attract people? Who do we attract? And this is where we can basically completely switch or change the solution. Maybe the first hypothesis we had wasn't the good one. And how do we learn that? We learn it by trying to understand what people are telling in the quiz, but also looking at the numbers. What is resonating with people on Facebook ads? What generate the most clicks? What generate the most leads? What is the conversion rate on the landing page? What is the conversion rate on the pop-up? And so on. And we do that by looking at data, also looking at recording. I'm going to show you a tool so you can see exactly what people are doing on this step, so you can understand what they are reading, what make them click or not. And we simply adjust regarding the answer we find. This whole step of improving, refining, is what I call the feedback loop improvement. And here I've noted 1 week to, we don't know how long it takes. It just depends. This is the most critical part of this complete method, because most of the time you start with the wrong assumption and you need to understand quickly and iterate quickly. How do you know when you are good? You know it. You know it because you can see that the results that you get, the price per lead, meaning the price per people wanting to know more about the solution later, is going really, really down. This means you have finally found the right person, you got the right offer, and you interest them. You found what we call the product market fit, even though the product is not existing yet, but you are at least really close to it, and you will see it right away. But that can take a long time, and also take budget. Talking about budgets, let me just make a little parenthesis here. In the course of the next week, I'm going to get deeper on this part, specifically how to create a campaign for this kind of offer. But just that you understand, it is a very, very low marketing budget campaign. Why? Because we want to get the most learning for every dollar, every euro that we spend. We want to get as much learning as possible. The budget you can expect to spend to go from complete hypothesis, start your funnel, to the moment that you go to the next step, which is scaling your waiting list, is between 200 and, if maybe we'll never find it if the idea is wrong, the problem is wrong, but you can find it in about 200-300 euros. And it is okay. You can do it organically. You can imagine creating content with specific angle to bring people to your offer, It is possible creating different kind of content, but it will take so much time, and you don't have the exact data. You can't do it as well as if you are using paid advertising. So, and especially it's really long when you create content. This is why in this method I'm always using paid ads, because it gives a framework, it gives a time frame. You can expect 1 to 3 weeks depending on how much budget you want to spend, how far you want to go in this business idea. But yeah, if you start close in less than 200-300 euro, you can already go to the next step. Little reminder, if you find any value until here, please like this video. Tell me in the comments what kind of ideas, business idea you are working on. Again, it will help me to help this video to be shown to more people. Let's go to the next step, waiting list building. We are already creating a waiting list, but we are going really slowly because we don't want to spend too much with something that we are not sure of. This is why we refine. But once we have finally found the message that resonates, we want to scale. Why? Because it's not only about finding what works, it's also about actually selling it to people. Here, there is no budget specific, it just depends on your beliefs. Why? Imagine, I'm going to talk about this specific example so it makes it more practical. This course was meant to be high-ticket product. The price per lead when we started here was about 6-7 euro, which was quite high. We went down to 2.5-3 euro per lead. Once we got here, it's still it's a working project, so we are basically at the end of this step. This is why you don't have the example for the rest. But the idea is, okay, now that you have a lead for, let's say, 3 euro, then you make a calculation. How much do I want to spend regarding the potential conversion rate that I will get and the price of my product? That's it. If you know that you just want to sell a few, so you just validate your offer, then you don't need to spend a lot to scale your waiting list. You can spend another 200 euro, get a few leads, and start the launch sequence. If you get one that buys your product, it's already a validation. But if you are really confident and you have a budget behind it, in this case, you want to scale it as much as you can, knowing that you can always, the best you can do is an informed guess, but you always guess. Meaning, if you have something that resonates with people and you can generate a lead for, I don't know, 1 euro, 2 euro, and you can decide to spend 10,000 euro, and you have way more chances to sell it to, I don't know, 5,000 people than to sell it to 70 people. That's only your choice. But this step starts once you know that what you explain here is what you are going to explain, to show to people on the pre-order. In this step, you use the knowledge to craft a compelling pre-order offer. Basically, you just transform what you get there, you transform it to the page that you are going to send people to at the end of the launch. And you ramp up the ad budget to generate lead for how long as you want, as much as you want. Knowing that here, I count about 3 weeks. You don't want to have too big budget neither. You want to continue spend like an average like 20, 30, 50 euro per day to generate leads on a time period of like 3 weeks, maybe 1 month. Then you stop. Then you have your waiting list and you want to go to the next step. The next step is the product launch email sequence. That is based on a book written by Jeff Walker, And by the way, this is something I didn't show you yet, but here it's a list of resources. You can access this Figma in the description below. I will leave the link. And you can have all the different tools that I'm using to create that, and as well as the different books that can help you. I'm going to go through it later, but that is the book that describes the launch strategy that you can use here. The way I use it is a little bit different because after I've done it like several times, I've kind of made it a little bit my own, but the core structure is always the same. And let me explain the core structure. Again, I'm taking a step back because I love to see things in big. We got people that never heard about you. We sent them a marketing message through an advertising. They reacted, they saw your offer, they understood that the offer is not existing, they accepted to help you to build it. Maybe they join you on Instagram, whatever, and they received an email. So they know that for them, in a few weeks, you would come back to them. Maybe they have completely forgotten after 3-4 weeks. It's fine, no problem with that. But they have received an email from you, and they remember the experience that they had with the quiz and so on. You have grown a list of this kind of people. So maybe you have 500, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 people in this email list. Obviously, the size of the list will depend on the product. If your offer is a $3,000 program or $10,000 program, then you will have a lot less people in that list than if you are selling e-commerce product for 40 euro, for example. It doesn't matter. The principle is exactly the same. And in this case, you have your list, and some of them just subscribed here, right? You are scaling, and then suddenly you stop scaling, and then you launch. So some of them subscribed here, but some of them subscribed here, and that's fine. What you want is to have a pre-launch email. So you are not running advertising anymore. You have your list, it's built. Then you send an email to everyone on this list saying, hey, now it starts. In the next weeks, you will expect to hear from us. This step is really, really about triggering curiosity. So you can use whatever creative you want, like you can make them laugh, you can point them to a specific piece of content. They just need to remember the product they signed up for earlier, maybe 3 days before, maybe 3 weeks before, and to understand that, okay, now it's coming. The second one, 7 days later, and you will see that everything is on 7 days. Some people will say you can short it up. Sorry for that. I use a week between each email because it really play on the expectation, the curiosity. People really want to have the next email, and yeah. So this is why I'm always sending one email per week. The second one, is what I call announcement and why. Announcement it's not really an announcement, but it's re-announcing the product. So you reframe, okay, that is the offer. And maybe the offer changed a little bit. So you're kind of re-explaining the offer. And you explain why you did it. Why can be your story, can be how you found about that, why you wanted to help this kind of people. Here, you are just telling a story. You are not doing marketing emails. I mean, everything is marketing, but you are telling a story. You are explaining like the core why you decided as an entrepreneur to create this solution for them. And that's it. You are not talking about the day of the launch. You are not talking about the price or what is it there is in the offer. You are just explaining what you are going to do for them and why. That's it. A week later, now you are talking about how and what. How is what is there in the offer. what is the solution that you are going to create for them, and what is everything they need to know. Basically, price, when it is starting, how can they buy. The goal is that at the end of this email, they know everything about your offer. They don't have to think anymore. They know exactly that they are already making the decision to buy or not. And if you have done your job correctly, by the end of this email, most of people would think, okay, when they launch, I buy. This is why the next email is extremely simple. It's just, hey, it starts. It is now. You just have to buy. You don't have to re-explain anything. Everything was done already. So this is a very short email that tell them you can buy. It's for a week. Little trick here, and that brings me to, you have several marketing tools that you can use here. The first one is never talk as a brand. I mean, you can, but definitely you want people buy from people. People want to know about other people. They don't want to know about brands. So the sender of the email should be you. It's way better. Picture, the name, and so on. And also you want to use scarcity. You want to create this market tension. So if you have, I don't know, like 2,000 people in your list, and you're opening a program maybe for 15 people, then that is something you want to explain. You don't want to do crappy marketing and create fake scarcity. You just want to use the real thing, the real scarcity that is existing, by showing at the same time, okay, this is how many people are already interested in this product, and this is how many products are available. So in this whole journey of email sequence, people would also feel this fear of missing out. Okay, I'm not the only one that received this email, so I want to be part of the one that access this product. And you also want to create a pre-order for a certain amount of time, because you want people to buy right now. 1 week is more than enough. More than 1 week is completely useless. You're losing your time. You can even do it in 3 days. It really doesn't matter. So this is why I have a launch email and a last day email. You can have 1 or 2 emails in the week in between those. But when you do it, you realize that you have 2 pikes. You really have a pike of sales the first day of the launch and the last days. Last thing here, you can see there's my face here. It's a video I made a while ago. It's about product launch, not specifically for this business idea validation method, but for an e-commerce launch. The principle is the same. I'm going to record more videos about that, but for now, you can watch this video if you're interested in learning more about this specifically. Okay, at this moment, let's take a step back. We really have found an offer that we think people are interested in. We have built our waiting list, and we have created an amazing email sequence that led people to a page where they can actually pre-order your product. So they accepted to buy your product even though it's not created yet. What does that mean? You have a validated offer and you have your first clients. And the cool thing is that now you are paid to build the first version of your product, and you can get feedback from engaged customers. What do I mean by feedback from engaged customers? I mean, those people that just bought here, they have gone through all the steps. They have read everything, and they have accepted to pay you to create something that they will use in the future. So they are involved in your success. They want you to success. And it is okay if you don't make everything right the first time, because they know that you are building it. They are with you. So not only you are paid, so you are not building for free, but you can ask them transparently, hey, I've built that. What do you think about that? Do you have ideas? Can you test that? And so on. Those people became your super fan because they are with you from the very beginning. Another thing, a lot of people talk about having capital or investors to start a business. I'm more the bootstrap kind of guy. But at this point, when you have your first clients, this is the moment you want to look for investors. If you want to look for investors, you don't want to look for investors when you have only a business idea. And yeah, you still can do that, a pitch deck on PowerPoint and look for investors, fine. But it would work a lot better if you have the idea and you explain everything that you have done and show that you have your first 30,000 euros and your first 30 clients for this idea. So this is also allowing you to think bigger and go to get capital from investors. All right, so now we have gone through the whole system and you probably have a better idea of what it is. I hope that at this point you understood the complete concept. What are we going to look at next? Let me walk you through the next step of this video. I just want to dig a little bit deeper on the ads because I went too fast on this part at the beginning of the video. I want to show you how I make these images and how you structure the creation of the campaign. And I want to touch a little bit about the difference between a basic approach to build a business versus this method I'm going to show you. Then I'm going to talk to you about the theory of constraints, which is a book that explains a factory production method that we can apply to understand if this part here, the first part, works or not, and how can we make it work fast. I also want to show you the different structure you can use because it's not always easy to have one specific offer and you want to test out different things. And finally, I'm going to show you the different tools and books that can help you to build exactly this framework. The ads. I told you before that we are creating a specific kind of campaign. And as I said, I'm going to create a video full about that. But first thing is the images. I mean, they are pretty cool here. And even here, you can use whatever images that you want. But these ones are made with Midjourney, which is very useful to create this kind of images. And you want to have, basically you have to know a little bit about Facebook advertising to understand what I'm going to say. But we are using a CBO campaign, and then we have different ad sets with the CBO campaign. Within the CBO campaign, each ad set is an angle. And within this angle, we can have one or several pictures with different hooks. What is really, really important is that one ad set is one angle. It doesn't matter how many pictures you try, how many hooks, but we want to know where is Facebook spending the money. And the other thing that is extremely important is that now, if you are aware of how meta advertising is working now, there is no targeting anymore. There is no audiences. It just doesn't work anymore. Now it's broad, meaning the creative is creating the audience. This means if you have a creative that is not attracting the right kind of people, you will never have any success on Facebook ads. This means in your hook that you use, it needs to be crystal clear who you are targeting. You need to call out the people exactly, so when they see the ads, in the first second they understand, okay, that is something that is for me. I'm the kind of people that is supposed to read this ad. That's the most important thing. So you can come up with as many hooks as you want, and you can create hundreds of creatives at once. Here, as you can see, for one specific angle, we have different kind of pictures. You can also go in a more strategic way to say, okay, I'm going to go with one single picture, for example, and just test out the different hooks. Once I found the best hooks per angle, then in this case, I'm now going to try different pictures. Or you can do the other way around. You can have the same general hook with different pictures. Once you understand what pictures work, now you are using the same picture that works to try different hooks. I know it's a little bit foggy maybe here. I just wanted to touch a little bit on it. This is how it looks when you are creating a dynamic ad. You basically you select 10 different media, so that is one ad. And then you have 3 different ad copies. What are the ad copies? They are the text in the ad. I generally like to have a founder story, so a long form that explains a little bit the why building this kind of business idea / solution, a very short version, and benefits using Iterate framework. I'm going to show you more of that later on another video. Okay, let's go to the theory of constraint, and let's get this guy a little bit higher so we have it here next to our funnel. You can see here, those are the same steps that you can see here. What is the theory of constraint? It's a way to think of a process that the main point here is to say the bottleneck creates the capacity of the system. And this concept is coming from the book The Goal, which introduced the theory of constraint, and it's made for factories. But we can adapt it here, because if you think that the weakest point of your system creates the performance of your system, then it just gives you the information on what to work on. The step with the lowest conversion rate, the bottleneck, holds back the performance of the entire funnel. To improve result, focus on fixing that slowest step first. What do I mean by that? It is really overwhelming when you create all of that. There are so many touch points. And some people would say, okay, I've created that, but I'm not sure if the quiz is good. So I'm going to work 3 hours on the quiz and to improve the questions. But if you look at their whole results yet, you find out that the ads are not generating traffic. The click-through rate is really bad. Why would you work on the quiz if you are not able yet to send people to your offer? That is the bottleneck. And we can find bottlenecks everywhere. That is the example I just told you about. The advertising is not working. You pay, like, I don't know, €3 per click, which is insane. In this case, don't work on the landing page. Don't work on the pop-up. Don't work on the quiz. Just work on your advertising until you are able to generate traffic. And then you can see if you are good on the advertising, you generate traffic, but people don't click on your CTA. In this case, you don't want to work on the quiz. You don't want to work on the pop-up. You want to work on the actual offer. Why are people not clicking on the CTA and nobody sees the pop-up? So at this point, you know that you can stop working on the advertising. You're certainly not working on that. You are just working on the landing page and so on. You can have good advertising. You can have a lot of people reading and clicking on the different call to action on the landing page, but people don't start the quiz. Why? In this case, it means that the message on your pop-up can be not the right one. So you need to test different messages. Just here, little disclaimer, if that is your case, it is also possible here that is not only from the pop-up, because the first message people see is framing their mind about the offer. meaning sometimes people would see something in the advertising and already have an image of what they think they will find. Here it's still interesting, but when they see the pop-up, they don't go further. And it could be because the message in the pop-up is not the right one, but it could also be that the very first message they have seen is not the right one. So once you are at this step, you first work on the pop-up, but if you don't find the solution, then you want to think of the entire system before. I hope it's not too theoretical. That's the last bottleneck if people don't finish the quiz. It's just maybe your quiz is not nice enough, is not friendly enough, is not smooth enough, so you need to work on the quiz. So in the end, it was a very complicated word to explain a very simple concept. Next thing we can look at is the A/B test and structures. That's the normal structure I told you about. It's like we have different angles that leads to one single offer that we came up with because we made researches and we came up with this idea. So we think that is good. But maybe you are more flexible on the offer. Maybe you are having like 3 different products that could solve same problem. Well, in this case, you can also send people on different landing pages with different offers. They can all lead to the same pop-up that say, hey, do you want to help us out to create the solution? Or they also can lead to different pop-up, each of them. That's also possible. That is for you to decide. Obviously, the more you will create variation, the more the longer it will be to create them. It represents a lot of work, and also the more spread your data will be, and the more complicated it will be to understand exactly what works, what's not. But if you really hesitate between different not business idea, but different offers, different products, that could also be a very good way to test them out at the same time with the exact same audience. Another way, I was talking earlier about what happens if you have this problem here. So you have good advertising, people spend time on your page, but they don't start the quiz. So your bottleneck is the pop-up. In this case, that's one of the most powerful A/B tests you can do, is that you just make different pop-up at the exact same time until you find the right one that engage people and make them want to go further and answer the first questions. By the way, why, I don't know, maybe I didn't say that, but why do we use pop-ups and we are not sending people right away to the quiz? Because it is first, it is extremely important that people understand why they are doing the quiz. It wouldn't make any sense if you have an offer and then right away send them to the quiz. They need to understand why they are doing the quiz and take the decision themselves to help you or not. If not, it's completely irrelevant. You making this pop-up sometimes is a little bit technically annoying to track the clicks on the pop-up and so on. Another alternative, if you can't make that happen, you can also have every CTA that make people scroll down. And you can, on every tool that you use, you have this option. When you click, it scrolls the page down until this part, and the last call to action could play the role of the pop-up. It's the same. It's not ideal, but basically people would read, and decide, they click here, it scrolls down, they read, okay, do you want to help us out and answer a few questions? They click here, and they directly go to the quiz. That's another option. But I just wanted to point out why we are using pop-up and why is it that important. Last one is the different structure. Here we have the same ads that lead to different pages, different offer. You can also have different marketing campaigns that lead to different offers that lead to either the same or, again, a different pop-up. You can have everything parallel if you really, really want to test different business ideas at the same time. Again, it takes a lot of work and energy. Okay, let's have a look at the resources that we have to build all of that. The first resources are books because they are cheap and they are full of knowledge. Obviously, that's not a secret. So I've selected a resource for you if you want to improve on copywriting, if you want to create a good offer, if you want to learn how to ask questions, if you want to learn how to launch a product, and if you want to go really deeper and understand the theory of constraint, which I loved, by the way, but it's not mandatory if you want to build this kind of funnel. Here we have two resources. The first is Cashvertising, which is a famous book. There are plenty of good books about advertising and marketing and psychological behavior. This one is fair enough. It's a very good one. So if you read that, you're already ahead of 95% of people that are trying to sell stuff on the internet. So before everything else, I really suggest you to have some knowledge about what makes people buy, what makes people click, what interests people. And that's a smaller resource, which is one of the first I've came across in my marketing journey. It's just a 2-page article that goes extremely deep on what actually people want. So it's not a summary. Both are really interesting to read, but this one is like, if you want to sell anything, you should know everything about this one. And it's free and it's quick to read. So this one is mandatory, definitely. Then you have this very famous book from Alex Hormozy, which is basically a manual to create a good offer. When I'm talking about offer, it is useful both for what you are going to explain here, even though you are not going into the details here. You're not talking about guarantee. You are just showing a potential solution. But it will be extremely interesting when you create your final offer and when you explain in the email what it is that they are getting when they buy. So that is with this book. And then you have a book from Ryan Levesque, which is all about asking questions, understanding customers, and quizzes. You have the book I told you about product launch, and this one I also told you about. Then come the tools. I came up to this tool because I'm actually using a different one when I build my funnel, because I have my own habits and my own tools, and I have a lifetime deal for a tool, which makes it a lot easier for me. But you don't have a specific tool to use for that. You can build your landing page on WordPress, on whatever, like cards, Instapage if you have a lot of money, ClickFunnels, whatever. You can use everything you want as long as you have the different steps. But I found out that this French tool, yes, French tool, if you haven't realized yet, I'm French, and as a normal French, I'm pretty proud. So I'm happy that the best one I found is a French tool. It's actually a really good alternative. Why? Because it has everything together. It will allow you to create not the marketing campaign, of course, but the landing page, the pop-up, the quiz. You can, but it's not ideal. I will show you why. You can create a thank you page, then you can scale your waiting list, and then you can create order launch. There is emails involved. It's like a cheaper version of ClickFunnels, but very powerful, and the pricing is really fair enough. It's really fair. So you can start for free, start building everything. But with this plan, it's more than enough to build everything. Now, when it comes to the quiz, you have the free version, which is Tally. It's not ideal. It misses a lot of functionality, analytics, and so on. But it creates nice quizzes, and it is completely free. So if you're on a budget, then definitely go for this one. If you have money to spend, Typeform is more than enough for everything. It's a very great tool to create quiz, include logic. You have good analytics. You can connect it to Facebook ads. Everything. Typeform is really good. Like it's extremely expensive, but it is really good. And lastly, I mean, it's not mentioned in this video, but if you are starting doing A/B test, I just wanted to point it out because since the last A/B test from Google is gone, it was really hard to find a good A/B test tool. And this one allows you to start for free, and it is really, really good. So if you want to do any proper A/B test, you know that you can go with this one. Just want to mention that those links, once you access this page, are most of them affiliate links. That's the first time I'm actually setting up affiliate links. So yeah, if you use one of these tools, please go through these links. It will participate to reward me for the time I spent doing this video. We are now reaching to the conclusion of this video. After we have seen everything, I just wanted to show you the difference between what people do in general and what you can do with this method. Usually people would build something and then they would start like creating landing page, and then they would go out there and try to sell it. That's what a lot of people do, and that's a shame because it often ends up as failure because you have no clue what the market wants once you start. The smartest people would do something like that. They would create the marketing assets, try to sell it, and then after build the product. It's better already, but still you are just always working with a complete product. I would say never build before you know you can sell, because it's extremely expensive. You can't test different hypotheses, and you don't learn anything about your future customer unless you are doing calls and stuff, which is also a good method. But still, it's pretty hard, pretty tough to learn, and it's not customer friendly. I was mostly talking when you do that, because you are kind of faking that it's a real product, but it's not built yet. Yeah, so that's the basic method we just see. That's what I just said. Now we have with this method, regarding the time, the good thing is that it is a dedicated time. It's like, okay, now I'm building this funnel. This is what I can expect. I know how long it will be, and if it works, I continue. If it doesn't, then I move on. So it's a dedicated time. The cost of it is a low budget. It's made to work on a low ad budget. As I said, you can also do it with organic, but time is money. So how long do you want to spend to test a business idea? I'd rather spend 500 euro and make sure that this business idea is working or is not working and move on to something else, rather than spend 1 year hoping and stressing about this business idea that I never make work. This is why whatever you spend on ad, it is worth it because it allows you to spend less time on it. As you have seen, it gives you the best learning for every dollar you spend. Once you understand how to do it, then you can definitely learn a lot very quickly. You can test hundreds of angles with the campaign, marketing campaign that we have seen before. You involve the customer in the creation of the product, and you also have a better conversion rate, meaning it is better to use a quiz rather than simply saying, hey, leave me your email address, we are launching soon. Why? It is because it's using the power of micro commitments. When people start doing something, they want to finish it. So yeah, it is also increasing the conversion rate of your waiting list. Now the superpower of this method is that it creates expectation. Once they have found the solution, they have gone through the first step and they start receiving the email. Now they really want to know what's going to happen, how much it will cost. They want to know more about this product. You can create this supply and demand tension that I've explained before. Like, okay, this is how many people are interested in the product. This is how many products there is available. And you also, that's a last point I didn't talk about, but you can use a quiz submitted is a powerful conversion. And let me explain you that because it's extremely important. If you would do the same thing test different marketing angles and try to sell your product and actually sell it, like I've mentioned here, for example, the problem is that, let's say your product costs 300 euro, whatever product it is. If you want to sell it, to at least start thinking of having a proper result, you would need to spend 800-900 euro on ads, just to know if you have a chance to sell it. Why? It's because the conversion is extremely hard to get. But if you think in matter of conversion, everything here are different conversion. Someone clicking on your ad, it's a conversion. Someone clicking on your call to action on your page is a conversion. Someone here clicking, conversion. Every step here is a conversion. Then you have an email opt-in, which is definitely a conversion. Once you optimize your ads for this conversion, you optimize Facebook ads to find you more people that would convert here, it is way cheaper than if you have tried to sell your product. But at the same time, it is a very powerful conversion because you optimize your ad for people that clicked, saw the offer, accepted to help you, answer question, gave their email address. So it's not a buyer, but it is a powerful conversion. There is a lot of weight in this conversion. So that's the other superpower, is that you will optimize, your waiting list will be built on the same kind of people that all have done this conversion and went through the whole process. And that's the end of this video. If you are still with me and have watched everything, thank you so much for sticking until here. I really try to be as understandable as possible, but sometimes it's really hard to put all of that together. So yeah, if you're still here, just please let me know in the comment what you think, what I can improve, what I should focus on. Just know that a lot of videos are coming about all of these topics. And if you haven't watched it yet, I really suggest you to watch the video about market research, which has been watched by a lot of people already. Otherwise, I also put the next video of this series, which at the time that this video is published is not available yet, but if it is, it means that this is the next you should watch. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you in the next video. Bye.